go further with this session 2 regarding ALDREN into practice. And I will leave the floor and let the floor to Mayte Garcia Córcoles from HOSBEC in Spain to explain us the link in between HOSBEC and ALDREN and focus even more on the hotel experiences in Spain. Mayte, welcome. Thank you very much for your time for ALDREN. Floor is yours.
Hi, Matthew. Thank you very much. Hi. Good morning for everyone. My name is Mayte Garcia, and currently I'm the Project Manager and Quality Assurance Director at HOSBEC. And it is a pleasure to talk about the experience for HOSBEC with ALDREN project. I would like to thank Valencia Institute of Building, main partner in the Alliance, for the invitation to participate in this panel and for the fantastic and professional work in this project, in the project. During the next slides, please, can you? Okay, thank you. During the next slide, I will be talking about these ideas. Next one, please. First of all, I would like to introduce you HOSBEC. It is a hotel and tourism association, and it groups together any company in the hospitality industry in Comunidad Valenciana in Spain. The association was founded in 1977 in Benidorm by a group of independent hoteliers, and it has been evolving until today. The association started being local, only representing hotels in Benidorm, but since 2011 we have expanded our activities to all the Valencia region. With more than 40 years of experience, HOSBEC has 281 members, and we have 2 offices, one of them in Benidorm, the headquarters, and other in Valencia City. Our members are mainly hotels, representing 75% of the total, but also other accommodation business like apartments, campsites, and even theme parks, leisure companies, some restaurants are associated with us. To give you an idea of the evolution of the association, here you can see the number of members and the evolution in the last 8 years. And I want to highlight the increase of 21% in the hotel bed represented, with the Benidorm as the main location. So let me get you more information about Benidorm. The last one, please. In Benidorm, we have more than 65,000 accommodation places, only talking about regular offer, assuming a mean hotel occupancy rate of 85% during all the year, with exception, obviously, in 2020. That supposed more than 16 million overnights last year in 2019, being the 3rd destination in Spain, just after Barcelona and Madrid, Benidorm. So you can imagine the impact of introducing energy efficiency policies between our members. Next one, please. In the last 10 years, the strategy of energy efficiency has been adopted by the hotel sector and from HOSBEC. We have been able to monitor the sector, which led us to know information about energy rates, like the average energy consumption is about 1 gigawatt-hour per year per building, or that only 55% of them use renewable energy, or that the mainly use of energy is used in production of domestic hot water and to heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And to continue working in this strategy, we need solutions that we have introduced in 2 lines. The first one is facility design, where we include renewable energy source, isolation of facilities, bioclimate architecture, and even sustainable mobility. On the other hand, we are working to develop a dashboard for energetic benchmarking, but for the moment it's not being in use because of the cost of the system. We only work with energy indicators to use like a reference for our members, like kilowatts per room per year, or overnight per year, or kilowatts hour by surface. In line with this strategy, we have developed several projects in the last 7 years, like energy diagnosis, NISEN project, Aguardio with Surrey University, and of course, the ALDREN project. Next, please. And this is ALDREN. This is one of the most relevant projects that we participated in. As you can see, on the last slide, 6 of our hotels members are pilots in this project. and they are monitoring its energy performance and interior quality. In our opinion, the objectives that we need to develop are safe, relevant information, energy monitoring, more specific information about energy performance in hotels, integrated information about energy efficiency, what are the main energy parameters in deep renovations, more exactly information about financial risk and building costs. The main outcome of the project will be the building renovation passport. This is very important it will provide more homogeneous and integrated energy information to compare between them. Our collaboration with ALDREN project demonstrates the interest and commitment of our associated hotels in reducing their environmental impact and contributing to quality and responsible tourism. Next one and the last, please. And which is the future of ALDREN? What are the new talents in the current situation? Now, all is uncertainty. Particularly in tourism, all is absolutely uncertainty. For example, 2 hotels of the pilots were not working this summer. They were closed from the beginning of the pandemic situation. Some of them never have been closed before. In Benidorm, only 50% of the hotels were open in the last month, and now the forecast is the full closure in the next weeks. And it is absolutely unprecedented. So some of them have decided to make a deep renovation in the next months, and others perhaps decide to improve their facilities. But all of them are working to improve their safety in their ventilation, in their cleaning and disinfection of facilities, in their equipments and materials. We are sure that is the right strategy because the tourism is a safety activity and the hotels are safety places. And we have to put in value the safety standards in accommodations. We are sure that ALDREN can make this way more easy, and it is possible to improve our procedures to change the new and uncertain future. And thank you very much for your attention, and here you have my contact details. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayte, for sharing your views also on the collaboration in between HOSBEC and ALDREN and your strong and continuous involvement within ALDREN, even within this unprecedented context, as you said, has been definitely and really appreciated. Thank you again, Mayte, and thank you, HOSBEC.
Thank you.
I would also like to introduce here Carlos Espigares from IVE, who has been one of our strongest contributors within the ALDREN consortium on the pilot building studies. And Carlos is going also to drive us through these results and these studies on the hotel buildings and pilot studies on hotel buildings in ALDREN. Carlos, please go ahead. I'm just following your next instructions.
Thank you, Mayte. Well, I'm Carlos Espigares from Valencia Institute of Building. I've been in charge of coordinating the project here in Spain, and I'm working closely with HOSBEC and the rest of my colleagues at the project in order to implement all the modules that were developed after the last 2 years of work, to implement them on 7 pilot buildings. More specifically, we are going to talk about the 6 hotels that are taking part in ALDREN. Next, please. Next, doesn't matter. This is the next. Well, the first thing to do, and it's fair enough to do it, I would like to introduce you my colleagues. Without their effort, it wouldn't be possible. Pablo Carnero, María José Esparza, Miriam Navarro, many others like Cristina Jareño, for example, that was at the beginning of the project. They were contributing to this project since the beginning, since the inception, some of them. I would like you to know them before starting the discussion. Next material, please. These are the 6 hotels that joined the project at the beginning. As you can see, their gross internal area is quite different. They offer different services, even if they are the same typology. They have different ranges of rooms. one have 90, others have almost 400. They are in different conditions of maintenance. They are in different locations inside Benidorm. And at the end, they have different requirements. Okay, next. And because they have different requirements, we decided to apply some of the modules in ones and other modules in the others. For example, if we go to Benidorm Center, we apply mainly the energy and the Renovation modules. Le Dune is one, sorry, can you go back? Thank you. Le Dune is one of the best test pilot because all the modules have been applied on it, and also Flamingo, for example. Next slide, please. During these studies and related to energy rating and verification, we have obtained some results. We can go briefly here. We could say that we achieved a 40% of energy savings from the whole hotel collection that we have. And the results vary depending on the condition and the roadmap that we implement on the buildings. So this is why they are different and they diverge. Next slide, please. With this slide, I would like to illustrate you, was previously illustrated by my colleagues Simon Ligier, Jana Bensalova, how the implementation of the different measures can navigate the results from a rating to the other. Here is an example of one of our buildings where you can see the before renovation rating and how only with after applying some energy renovation actions related to passive and active systems can jump from G to C, and even more if you apply a photovoltaic production. So this is an example of it. Next. We also calculated the CO2 emissions. We reached very impressive values, for example, from one hotel like Benidorm Center, 85% of reduction. That was very nice. And yes, an average of 50%. We cut the CO2 50% in these hotels. Next, please. These are the results previously shown by Corinne Mandon, where basically all our hotels have a lot of work to do in the future in order to have a better environmental conditions. Next. During this, the previous slide shown basically the results and the way we proceed when applying the modules. But basically, this part of the presentation, the renovation roadmap, is like the milestone of everything. Because after gathering all the information that you need to implement the rest of the modules related to energy, health and well-being, or even cost evaluation or finance valuation, at some point you need to take some decisions. And these decisions are materialized into the energy renovation actions that will shape some renovation packages. These packages are the ones that you are seeing in front of you right now, these four guys that you have in there. They work in a cumulative way, and they ensure that you are going to get an impact on the energy performance that you are looking for, basically. So this combined with other modules like health and well-being and investment cost can offer you a glimpse of how the intervention that you have planned interacts with the reality of the project, of the building, and can be improved. To develop this package, this renovation roadmap need of time and also of like a lot of iterations. You have to check that all the renovation actions are really affecting positively in the building. Next slide, please. After the renovation roadmap, we analyzed that the most common energy renovation actions, ERAs in the future, are this one that you have in there, active and passive. At some point it can become tricky because also in the latitudes that we are in Spain, for example, you can think that insulating a building a lot will save you a lot of energy or make the interior environment better. But at some point we realize that it can overheat and needs another kind of system that will consume another more a lot more of energy from other sources. So it's very important to analyze this process deeply and in an accurate way. Other important fact from the roadmaps that we have developed is that we were convinced that what we had to do is to cut the non-renewable energy supply for our buildings. So all the systems implemented in our pilots are basically electric based, in order to be able in the future for being supplied by photovoltaic production from the sun or any kind of renewable energy. After that, the Renomap that my colleague Simon showed before shows a graph that is a very illustrative one, because here you can see the evolution of the building in terms of energy consumption and energy saving in time, around time. This means that you can schedule the implementation of the renovation packages depending on the owner wills, basically, and finding out where the cost optimality of their implementation will be. Next slide, please. After that, we obviously, while we were designing the renovation roadmap, we also analyzed the investment cost of these measures. Here you can see a summary of the total investment cost and the energy performance achieved with these energy renovation actions on each pilot at the average cost, which is almost 900,000 euros per hotel. Next slide. We were also keen to calculate the impact on HOSBEC hotel stock, the buildings from its associates. After this estimated calculation of this extrapolation, we realized that only the hotels from HOSBEC could save almost 48% of primary energy, and in investment per year around 1140 million euros. So it's a lot of money. This study has to be developed further, because at the end, what it aims is to support the ALDREN initiative and to promote the deep renovation in hotels or any kind of building at the end. Next slide, please. So concluding, some conclusions for this, and overall focus on the hotel typology. The first one is that the energy performance standards should represent better the hotel typology and its use of energy, because we realize that the most part of the energy uses in the hotels were out of the APBD scope. They were not talking about lighting or ventilation or domestic hot water or whatsoever. They were talking about kitchens, for example, or swimming pool or spas. You know, these kind of uses at the end are very demanding in terms of energy. The second one, there is a great potential in deep energy renovation market for hotel buildings, overall in the existing stock. The renovation actions during the renovation design process is a must. I mean, at the end, all the design team has to be advised by an expert or a group of experts that includes these renovation actions in the process. If not, everything is going to be very complicated at the end. And finally, to trigger the market, it is essential to increase the awareness of companies and hotel owners with tools like ALDREN, for example. This is very important, because at the end, they are the ones that are going to decide if these measures will be implemented or not in the market.